Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. In this week's episode, I'm making two very delicious bao sandwiches. One is going to be a marinated tahini crusted tofu, and the other one I'm featuring a product which is the Sriracha vegan tuna. I'm also going to be making a homemade pickle with daikon radishes and carrots to top off these beautiful sandwiches. I'm really excited to make these and of course try these puffy cloud-like sandwiches. So without further ado, let's head over to the kitchen and get cooking! Here's our daikon radish. Peel off the amount that you need and cut it up. I've cut them into moon shapes and half moons, trying to maintain equal sizes. And we're using a 3/4 cup's worth. I'm cutting the carrots into matchstick pieces and we're using a 3/4 cup's worth. And I'm cutting our peeled ginger into matchstick pieces. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar to this measuring cup. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of mirin, bringing us to the halfway mark, and a 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar, which brings us to the 3/4 cup mark. I'm adding all of our vinegar to this pot, getting our stovetop set to medium. Adding a 1/2 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of raw sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir it all up. We've sterilized our jars and dried them, and I'm adding our carrots and daikon radish in, as well as the ginger slivers. As you can see, I'm using 3 small jars. You want your liquid to come to a boil, but don't let it evaporate. Carefully pour the liquid into the jars with the veggies. Make sure they're submerged. You may need to push them down a bit with a utensil. Screw on the lids tightly and allow them to cool. Once they're cool, you can pop them in the fridge. Here's our fresh lemongrass. I'm using the back of the knife to bang it up. This will help to release more of the aroma and flavor. Cut the lemongrass and remove the outer firm layers. The outer layers are good to infuse flavor into soups. The lower part of the lemongrass is more tender. For this recipe, we're using the more tender parts. Cut off the tops and the bottoms. And we're mincing some up. I have a block of firm tofu that I've drained and pressed. Now I'm cubing it. Over here in this bowl, we're getting 1/4 cup's worth of tahini. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of ginger paste, and I'm adding a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And I'm adding a tablespoon of our minced lemongrass. And I'm juicing 1 lime here. Now I'm adding the lime juice to our tahini mixture. Break up the tahini and mix it up. I'm adding half a cup of water because our tahini is quite thick. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of maple syrup for sweetness. You're welcome to use raw sugar or agave. I'm adding 1/4 cup of unsweetened coconut shreds for texture and flavor. Once our marinade has been mixed up evenly, we can add our tofu cubes. There should be no chunks of tahini. It is best to mix the tofu cubes with your hands. Make sure they're evenly coated. Your oven should be preheated to 425. I'm pouring the tofu cubes in a parchment-lined baking sheet. And we'll pop this in the oven for about 30 minutes total, flipping halfway through. This will make it easier to fry up our tofu without breading it. Did you know that bao actually means bun? But here in North America, we've grown so accustomed to saying bao bun. Mantou, in contrast to the bao, is a plain steamed bun served without any fillings usually. In northern China, it's often enjoyed for breakfast and other meals, and it goes quite well with congee and soups, and it can be served with chili oil and black bean paste. The flower-shaped mantou are normally enjoyed around the Chinese New Year celebrations, and you will find the Chinese red dates in the center. Those are also known as jubjubes. Now you may be wondering, aren't jubjubes those colorful candies I normally find in convenience stores? And yes, indeed they are, and they got their name after the fruit because of their shape. And the earlier candies actually contain the jubjub fruit juice in them. They no longer contain this. But watch out, vegans, because a lot of these chewy candies contain gelatin. But there's more and more vegan candies out there without gelatin. Jubjub fruit has been used in naturopathy for over 3,000 years in China and then in Korea and other Asian countries thereafter. And it has been primarily used to treat insomnia and anxiety disorders. Now you may be wondering, what's the difference between the Chinese red date and medjool dates? Well, actually, the Chinese red dates are not dates, but rather they're fruit. And they're less sweet, less sticky, and they don't have to be ripened and dried out to enjoy. You can eat them at all stages, even before they're ripe. Meanwhile, I'll get the bao sandwich toppings ready. Here I have some kale. Cut some kale off of the stems. You can massage it to tenderize it or cut it very thin. I've massaged it and then chopped it up here. And we'll slice up some green onion for a garnish. And I've chopped up some cilantro. Our tofu is ready for frying, so we've got our pan hot, getting some oil in the pan. And we're adding our tofu cubes in. Flipping them so we can brown them on the other sides. We're ready to steam our bao now. These bao were in the freezer, so they'll take 15 minutes. And our pickles have been brought out of the fridge and they're ready to go. And I have our vegan Sriracha tuna. Our bao buns are ready now. And I'm just slicing them down the middle. If you find the taco or sandwich shaped ones, even better. We're filling up our bao, some with the tofu, some with our vegan Sriracha tuna, adding the kale, and our daikon radish and carrot pickles. You can drizzle on some toasted sesame oil, add your green onion and cilantro, and you're welcome to add some pickle juice and some chopped peanuts. Enjoy as many as you like. Despite the light and puffy texture, these do fill you up. Feel free to swap toppings to your liking. It's that time again, everyone. I get to try our beautiful bao bun sandwiches. So we'll start off with the tofu ones. It's really full. Those pickles are amazing. Simple and amazing. I love that little crunch with the peanuts. Wonderful combination here. And I'm enjoying some beer with this. A really simple marinade with that tofu. And it's excellent. The method that I use by baking it in the oven first, it helps to dry it up a little bit so it's easier to fry the tofu cubes up. But if you want, you can just simply bake them up and it should be fine. Also, if you want to make more of the marinade to dress it in the end, you're welcome to do that as well. Now on to our vegan tuna sriracha. You can find this product at the Good Rebel. So for that one, we have more of that fishy flavor without harming any fishies, of course. And we still have the nice pickles to go along with it. And what I love about the bao buns is they're nice and puffy. You can really enjoy all the textures here. With a tahini marinade, you have to thin out the tahini. The standard way is with some water, but you're welcome to add some more citrus, some more vinegar. It's all up to you, or some veggie stock as well. Remember, we are cooking the tofu. So there you have it, everyone. You got two different styles of bao bun sandwiches and a beautiful daikon radish carrot pickle, which turned out phenomenal, even though it's so simple to make. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe or these recipes. And remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. There's going to be a new video popping up every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern, so you don't want to miss it. This is JJ signing off, keeping things interesting in my kitchen and in yours. Bon appetit.